All right, I have all the parts that I need. I just made the video of how I connected this harness together. This is the harness here. This is the harness that's going to connect the Android unit, to the AXDIS module. This is the AXDIS module, right? It's the one that handles all the chimes, the backup sensor, the turn signals, because we got rid of the infotainment unit, which is really what does all those sounds. So we need this module, and he's like in the middle. Now, so I connected this wire harness, right? Then I connected these two connectors. This drives the speakers, and then this is what comes out. Now, according to the manual, the only thing I really need from here is the yellow, the the audio jack, which is used for key up, key down. There's a wire to help you convert, and the black. The rest I don't need here. So all this other stuff. So right there, I just need the yellow, the black, and this guy, and that guy right there. That's going to be for key up and key down. Then this stuff, I'm just going to tie this off now. So I'm going to put pause for a second. Okay, so here we go. Just unpause the video. I basically just tied all these things up. These are things that I'm not going to use according to the instruction manual. So this is just going to be tucked in the back. And I'll just leave it for here now. And all I really need is yellow, which is power, ground, and I'm going to hook up my unit now and to see if it comes on, and then eventually test the backup camera. If that works, then I'll start putting everything away. So pause again. All right, so I plugged in here, right here. I plugged in, this is one end of the connector, sorry, right here, this guy. This plugs into the box, then this comes over here and plugs into the Android head unit, and let's see if it turns on. I'm going to pause this again. Alright, just put the key in and it looks like it powers on. So I need to test the sound, I need to test the backup camera, and continue making connections. So basically, Android head unit straight into the AXDIS module, left and right. I still have to connect these two. One of them is for the backup camera sub and center channel, and the other one's for the RCA plugs. And basically all the RCA video, the video for the composite video for the center unit, the aux video in, and so forth. All right, pause. So the reason the blue wire wasn't working is that there's an amp control here. You swipe down and there's the amp control. There it goes. So that's why the blue wire wasn't turning on. There's a specialized menu setting for turning on the amp, turning off the amp. Okay, recording this again. So I'm going to try and put a backup camera and preserve the wiring for the old backup camera and reuse it. So in order to do that, I had to take this part off over here. In order to take this part off, you have to basically take off two plastic screws, and you got to take them off in a way that you can preserve them. It's basically one screw. It's a plastic insert that expands into another plastic, and you basically pull the top one out. So you pull this one out, and you pull that one out here, this one, and it makes that one expand. You got to do this in a way because you're gonna have to reuse these. So make sure you can save these. There's a plastic that comes off here, this guy, two screws, and once that's done, this whole thing pops off. You have to start popping it off, and you start popping it off. All right, now to get to the GMC sign right here, You see this, to get to this GMC sign, you have to, there's 2 screws in here. So right back here, right there's a screw right here. Here's a windshield wiper, rear windshield wiper. There's a screw here and a screw here. Now the problem is, those are all the screws that you need, but there's these 2 plastic ones. There's these 2 plastic ones in here. One second. There's these 2 plastic ones in here that I had to cut them off, and because I didn't want to break this. They weren't coming off. They're one of these things that's supposed to pop off. I cut this and I cut this off. I put like a small saw, like one of the thin saw blades, and just kind of sawed right through the plastic. And then this whole thing comes off. And here are the 2 screws. One screw here, and there's the other screw. So this whole plastic thing comes off, and the camera goes right there. So what I did was I cut the camera wire right here. I cut this camera wire because my plan is to leave this in place, but to put the camera over here, I'm going to drill over here, and I'm going to reuse the harness. So that camera had a wire that comes up to here, and it's up to here, and that harness plugs in. Let me show you that. Okay, so here is, I cut this off. I left the camera there because, as I said, I'm going to drill a hole, put a camera more to the center. That hole's too big. That camera hole's too big, so I can't really preserve it, and I don't want to have a big hole there. So I'm going to put the other external camera right in the center and drill a hole, and then use the power, ground, and video signals from this harness, which I showed you, that connects in there. Connect the camera in here, and therefore I don't have to rewire anything. Now the cables here, when you take this off, red is battery plus, black is battery minus, blue is a 12-volt turn on signal that's used to turn the camera on. I'm going to use this to power my camera instead of the red. So therefore, whenever the computer inside determines I'm going back, then it turns this camera on. Otherwise, I've got to get a power that goes through a blinker. I'd have to go over here and take one of these blinker, take one of these take a reverse wire for the reverse light and run it over here. And I'm just gonna try and reuse the blue wire. See if that works. So once I put the camera in, I should be able to pull it out of the connector, which I think is connector X4 up front, and therefore I save myself having to route a video cable from the front to the back, and by reusing the old one. Oh, and by the way, the video wires are these here, the yellow and the brown. So that's it. Alright, so here is an experiment, first experiment for this backup camera. I'm trying to preserve this connector. I took the connector, I took the wire, and I sacrificed here, and then I basically connected my camera with the cables that it came with. And here's what I did was, I'm going to connect the power to the red, to the 12 volts, and the ground. And I'm not going to use the blue wire for now. Remember, the blue wire supposedly only has 12 volts when you're in backup, when you put it in reverse. And then I have my yellow and brown video feed here. So first experiment is make sure I got the polarities of these composite video correct. If that works, then I'm going to switch from, that means I don't have to put the car in reverse in order to see the camera. Then I'm going to switch the power supply to the blue wire so that the camera is only turned on when I'm in reverse. Okay. Okay. So here is my backup camera. Here's my backup camera wire that goes into the unit, And here is it where it goes into X4. This is the backup over here. Now I'm gonna hit the backup camera. I'm gonna tell the unit that I'm in reverse, and there it goes. You can't see it, but that is my concrete. I can see the concrete right there. You might not see it well, but I can see it. And there's a grass up over there. So I got the polarity correct, and it's working. I'm gonna disconnect this and go back. Perfect. So it seems to be working. Okay, it seems to have, everything seems to be working. I ended up switching from the red wire to the blue wire, and it works. Whenever I put the car in reverse is the only time the camera is powered on, and then the yellow, the brown goes with the ground, and the yellow goes with, that would have been yellow, this would have been a white if this would have been a yellow RCA input, but it's a white because it's the only thing I had handy. I wasn't gonna wait to get something else. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do. I cut this hole here. This is plastic, so that the cable would come through here, and this guy's gonna, and then he'll be, the bracket goes in there like that, and that way I can have space to angle this, and space for the camera, and space for the camera to have slack and pull wire in. And then I'm just gonna tuck all those cables in here, and then close this up, and that's it. All right, that's how it looks right there. And if you want, you can see over there how it looks. This is a small hole. Those screws, there's a wood backing. I use some crazy glue, kind of as Loctite, so it won't move, because that's plastic right there. So there's a piece of wood behind it that's holding the camera, and then the cables come into that compartment through that hole. That's it.